Best way to recruit new drivers. So first of all, you're going to need a good idea of how many new butts and seats you're going to need to have. So getting a good handle on the forecasting for peak. And FedEx actually just about a week ago or so, they released their latest data, what they expect to see from shippers and the volume moving through the network. So having a good idea of what your head count needs to be, that marginal head count above your non-peak levels, you need to have a good idea there. And that'll kind of set the baseline for how many extra trucks you need and how many extra people you need. The next thing is that you're really going to want to maximize the amount of part-time help you find during peak season, because the fact of the matter is there's only a few days of the peak season that you're actually going to hit what we would call peak volume. So if you say, I need on my biggest peak day for these 3 or 4 days out of the entire peak season that we're really going to see big numbers, you don't want to hire to that number and then expect that that number of drivers is going to be on the clock for you every single day. So what I would do is find out from your terminal what days are typically the heaviest volume days. In most buildings in the network, it's going to be Tuesday through Thursday. Most of the volume has moved through the network, and if it has to sit at a hub or a terminal over the weekend, maybe it gets processed on a Monday, but most of it's going to be moving through Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Those are typically going to be your biggest volume days. Again, that's not every single place, but in general, figure out what the top day or two is going to be, and then see if you can maybe find some part-time help just to come on and be able to work those particular days of peak season. That way you're not promising someone a full-time position that you can't make good on, because you're not going to need them all 6 or 7 days of peak season. And then I guess the final thing is, again, we're talking about culture today. Make sure you don't compromise on the safety part of it when you bring new drivers in, even if you don't plan to keep them beyond peak season, because an accident that happens during peak season counts just as much as an accident that happens January through November. And so just remember that. Don't compromise your onboarding and your safety process bringing people on. I think if you do those 3 things, you'll be in good shape.